It is time for another live. Looks like we're rolling here. Happy Wednesday, December 26th, 2018, if you're watching this live. Day after Christmas. So let's go ahead and start off with saying hello. And what did you get for Christmas? And what did you get for Christmas? Did you get what you wanted? And while you're doing that, I'm just going to share this on a couple of my pages real quick. You guys know the routine by now. And then I have a few updates for you before we get started on today's live. So say hello and what you got for Christmas, what your favorite gift was for Christmas, your favorite moment from Christmas. And if you didn't celebrate Christmas, just what did you do yesterday? What was memorable about yesterday? And then we'll be ready to go here in just a moment. Today's topic is going to be an important one about creating great days. I really think that great days aren't something that's happened by chance, but they're something that we can create. And if we leave it to happen by chance, that's where we're going to really miss out. But if we're intentional about setting ourselves up for it, we can make some magic happen there. So say hello and what you got for Christmas, what your favorite moment of yesterday was. And then I have 2 more of these to do, and we will be ready to rock and roll. It's going to take me 7 seconds to get this last one. If you want to invite any of your friends and family to join us, please feel free to do so. You can tag them in it. You can share this on your social. All right, that's it. Cool. Let's see who all is on here now. Give it a minute to catch up. So if you're just logging in, say hello. Merry day after Christmas. What was one of your favorite Christmas gifts you got? My mom got me this shirt and I've been wearing it all day. It's awesome. It's really meant a lot to me that she was so thoughtful and did some research and found a shirt like this that she knew I'd appreciate. I actually have a story about this that I was thinking about going with tonight, but my heart kept popping up to this other topic. So I wanted to touch on this. Let's see who's on here. Robin, Lisa, Linda. My favorite thing was FaceTiming with my granddaughters. Oh, that's awesome, Linda. What a wonderful way to spend Christmas. It's fantastic. A couple quick updates before we dive into today's topic about how to set yourself up to live a great day. So I've been thinking a lot about how we can make this whole Facebook Live thing grow as a community, make it more efficient, more effective. So what I've spent a great deal of my time today doing is building out kind of a master calendar, a content calendar for me to abide by, and blocking out literally Monday through Friday for the entire year. Now, I'm not necessarily going to keep every single one of those days because I'll have speaking engagements, I'll be doing workshops and whatnot. But on a normal schedule, we'll be able to get at least 3 or 4 days of the weekend. And then other days we'll be able to get 5. So we'll play with it, but at least it gives us a rough guideline. And then what I was going to do is I was going to get it ready for tonight, but I totally forgot my password to get it, so I can't. But I set up a registration page for those of you who want to get email notifications in regards to the Facebook Lives, these live trainings on YouTube and whatnot. And so my vision for it is that every Friday through Sunday, some point in there. So Monday through Friday, we'll have some sort of live training, theoretically 5 days a week, depending on my schedule. But what I'll do is sometime between Friday and Sunday, the week before, I'll email you. I'll also post it online and Instagram, social media, Twitter, and whatnot. But we don't always see those types of things. So I'll email those of you who want to receive an email from me with the schedule for the week, what times we'll be broadcasting at, what the topics will be, everything. This will give you opportunity to plan your schedule. This will give you an opportunity to invite your friends and family, share it with whoever you want to join in, or all those types of things. These emails you would get, the reminders for it would be in addition to, if you're signed up to receive my other emails, which I will message out usually once or twice a week. It'd be in addition to that, but it'd be really short, and it'll literally just be, here's this week's schedule. Here's going to be the topics. You can glance at it all you want, but it'll just be another way to have a reminder for it. And then additionally, in my mind, so this is how it looks in my mind. I still have to put the work in to get it done. I'll have a cool infographic or something like that that will be shared on social media at the end of the preceding week that'll highlight what's going to be coming in the coming week. So the schedule of what content we're going to be talking about, what the topics are going to be on, what times they're going to be on, how to access it, that whole thing. So I really want to make this process as smooth and as efficient as possible. And I'd love to have it where, by the end of 2019, we could be here and we're getting this out to thousands of people that are able to benefit from these and be able to learn and get value from it. And we can grow the community, because what I would love to have with this too is not just me teaching, but what do I say at the end of each one of these? If you have questions, ask the questions, take notes, and then ask questions off of that. Because what's going to happen is when we ask questions, it facilitates the discussion. I don't know what you don't know. I don't know how you're processing and interpreting what I'm sharing. And I guarantee you that if you have a question, somebody else out there probably has the same or similar question. And all of us, myself included, are going to be able to learn, grow, and get more value from this if we can start facilitating more questions and more discussions about this. So what my grander vision for it is we get to a place where I'm teaching for, maybe 10, 12 minutes on a specific topic. And then we have that other 10, 15 minutes afterwards allocated to Q&A, where I can field your questions and we can evolve the discussion about it. And that way we can really build on those things. So if that would be something of value to you, just put it in the comments. I'd like the email list. I'd like to sign up for the email notifications. And then I will get that set up. And then I should, hopefully I'll remember that I'll find the password and get the link for you for tomorrow's live. And then you all can start doing that. Also, I have only 2 spots available for the rest of this year for a strategy session with me. This is a complimentary strategy session for somebody who's really serious about coaching. We're at that time of year where it's time to looking at what do we want to do with 2019. And if you feel that, I'll just say it like this. If you've ever considered doing coaching with me, but you've been uncertain about it, and it's always been something you've thought you would, but you waited, and you find yourself in a place again at the end of 18 going into 19, similar at the end of 17 going to 18 going, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this different? I need some more accountability. I need more direction. I need to work through some of my stuff. I need to release some of this emotional weight, some of this baggage. I need to get my mind and my heart working together. I really, really want to create a epic 2019, but I want some help to do that. This would be absolutely perfect for you. So reach out. There's 2 spots left. I'll post a link in here real quick before we dive in. And I'll post it again. Oops, shit, I deleted it. I thought I still had it set up here to copy and paste it. But I don't, but now I do. That's the thing with these lives. It's a good thing I'm not broadcasting on the news, because there would be all sorts of 4-letter words that would just be popping out. Anyways, oh no, now my keyboard's not working. Connection lost. Okay. Anyways, there it is. So that's for those of you who are really serious about looking at implementing a coaching program into your 2019. That's all I got to say for that. That's it for updates. So let's dive into how to set yourself up to live a great day. And I encourage you to take notes. I'll have a few minutes afterwards for questions. Hint, hint, if you have questions about this. If you have questions that pop up as I'm typing, go ahead and you can post them in the comments, and then I'll circle back around to them. I'll kind of keep this train of thought going, and then I'll come back to the questions. So go ahead and add them in, and I can scroll back through. I had an experience recently that I thought would be really pertinent to share with you all. Now, let me preface this by saying that I went through a phase where I really partied, and I partied a lot. And I mean, I was going out 4 or 5 nights a week, and I was putting away a decent amount of booze. And when I say putting away a decent amount of booze, you can guess whatever number that is, and then you could probably double or triple it, and that's going to be a little bit more accurate to where I was at when I was really partying. And I would kind of laugh at it, saying it was just fun. I would never miss work. I would never oversleep appointments. I'd always get up early. If I would be out till 2 a.m. drinking, I would literally get up within 4 hours later. So between 5 and 6 the next morning, go to the gym, put all my clothes on, like 3 sweatshirts, pairs of sweatpants, get on the elliptical machine and just sweat and try to sweat the booze out. It was literally like the sponge squeezing booze out. And I told myself, it's okay. I'm not missing stuff. I'm not missing out on work. I'm not missing out on all these things. But what I was doing was I was showing up to meetings with clients and responding to emails and interacting with connections, never being fully present because I was tired, I was worn out, I was always fighting the effects of, maybe am I going to get hungover, whatever it was. And I remember one time that I stayed out till probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, didn't get up in time to go and do my normal sweat session. So I showed up for an appointment with a meeting with a client. And at the time I was doing full-time personal training. So I was in person with people, and I could smell the booze just oozing off of me. And I was thinking to myself, gosh, what must this person be thinking right now? Here they are paying money for me to come and help them with their health, with their body, with everything. And I'm sitting here smelling like a bar. My eyes are bloodshot. I felt so ashamed of myself and like I was so disrespectful to that person that I really recognized that there had to be a behavior change for me, and that if I wanted to make the impact in the world and people's lives that I wanted to, I needed to change my behaviors. I need to set a new set of standards for myself with that and stop those things, because while I could get by on it, okay, it wasn't about getting by for me anymore. It was about thriving, and it was about really showing up fully for the people I was fortunate enough to serve. It was about giving them my undivided time, attention, my full presence. It was about, caring enough about them and helping them more than caring about the momentary pleasure experience I would have with partying and doing those things with friends and stuff. And now, this isn't a knock on that. I still like to have a good time every now and then. I still enjoy having more than, one or two too many beers every once in a while. But it's more on special occasions as opposed to regular occurrence. So I want to give you that context first, right? And I recently had an experience where I had some very good friends in town visiting. And these friends are friends who I used to party with a lot. In fact, a lot of our relationship was built around that and solidified around that. We had many a wonderful, fun and drunk times around the campfire, arm in arm, singing, silly songs and clanging beers and whatnot, and eating Denny's late at night and all those things that usually come with it. And now they're coming in town to visit me, and they haven't been in town to visit me for quite some time. And they know I don't really do that as much anymore, but I had promised them I'd have one day where I would, cut it loose with them a little bit and have one or two too many. And I held up my end of the bargain. I said, here's what I need to do with you all. These are the hours I'm willing to do it. And this is basically what my limitations are. And the reason I did that was because I was going to have obligations and commitments I had made for the next day. I wanted to make sure that I had a full restful night's sleep. I wanted to make sure that I was able to show up fully present and available for the people I was going to serve. And I didn't want to diminish that potential by, having those extra drinks or doing those extra things, even though the pleasure carrot is dangling in front of me and the temptation's right there. So here we go. The day evolves, and I give them the window, and it's rolling around 6 o'clock, 6:30 at night. And I'm saying, okay, guys, that's it. I'm done. We can hang out still for a little bit longer, but no more beverages for me. I'm just water and whatnot for the rest of the time, and just conversation, good time. And they razzed me a little bit and whatnot. And I'll be honest, there was this moment for me where I was like, that voice is going, what's it going to hurt one more? There's the other voice going, this is such a special occasion. When do you get to do this with these guys? There's another voice going, nobody's going to know. And there's another voice going, hey, you'll be fine. And there's another voice going that you're having so much fun, this will be no problem. And then there's another voice going, come on, Jesse, you can. There's all these voices inside my head saying how much fun it would be, how great it would be, how wonderful it would be, special occasions, right? And so it was like temptation galore. Isn't that how it always is, right? Sometimes when we say that we're going to do something, we're going to make changes, we have these voices pop up that try to twist our arm and manipulate us out of it. right? This is kind of the time of year where we have to really combat some of those voices. We're going into the cusp of a new year, and we make what we call New Year's resolutions. And what happens with New Year's resolutions, right? We begin the year with such great and wonderful intentions. We begin the year so full of vim and vigor and excited for the changes we're going to make. And we start doing it. We start, communicating differently in our relationships. We start eating better. We start exercising. We start working with accountability. We start setting goals. We start taking those strides towards the life we really want to live, and the careers and the fulfillment and the joy we want to experience. And then the voices creep up, don't they? They say, what's it going to hurt to miss today? Nobody's going to know if you don't do this. You can just have one more. It's not the big deal. It's not the end of the world. That person really wronged you. You shouldn't say sorry. You shouldn't ask for forgiveness. Who cares if you said you were going to say sorry this year? This was the year you're going to just let things go. This is something to hold on to. Be pissed off. Be angry. It feels good to be angry. Right? All those voices start to chirp and chime up, and they say, hey, come on, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And myself and many of us may be on here. I don't know if any of you have ever done this, but I won't speak for you, but I'll speak for myself and say we often will succumb to those voices. We start to break agreements we keep with ourselves. So we let ourselves off the hook. We blame others. We fault find in saying the news was so stressful. Trump said something that pissed me off so much, I just had to do this. Right? We say, well, it's only the one time, and I'll get back on track tomorrow. And each time we do that, we have this standard that we started with ourselves for the year that we're going to live, for the goals we're going to achieve. And we keep lowering it and lowering it and lowering it and lowering it, because we start to excuse our behavior, and we excuse our own violation of our word we made with ourselves, the bond we kept with ourselves. If we can't keep our agreements with ourselves, how the hell is anybody else supposed to expect us to expect us to keep our agreements with them? If I could talk. Right. So this is kind of the year when this is the time of year where we really have to start looking at these things and examining them. And so here I am with my friends, and all those voices are chiming in, right? They're, hey, do this, hey, do that. And to be honest, there was a part of me that was really about ready to. They all made a lot of sense. Oftentimes those voices were, what I was looking at is I had a nice relaxing buzz. They were offering me more fun, more pleasure, more connection, more love, more memory making, all these types of things. And then the trade-off was, winding down, not getting to have as much fun as everybody else, going to bed early, those types of things. And they just getting up early and going to the gym. And those things just didn't seem that lucrative in the moment. But you know what did? See, the only thing that kept me from breaking my word to myself, and the only thing that kept me from making that choice, was looking at the potential of my tomorrow. I held in my head and held in my heart an image of the people I was going to get to serve, the clients I was going to connect with, the work I was going to do, the way I wanted to show up in the world, the difference I wanted to make. I held in my head and my heart an image of the impact I wanted to make the next day. And I knew that if I made that choice and gave into whatever temptation it was and listened to those slippery and suggestive voices, I would have never been able to do that at the level I wanted. So I said no. And the next day turned out to be one of the most magical days. I mean, it was just absolutely magical. It was as if God, the universe, whoever it was, came down and said, ta-da! If you need any more evidence about why you make the decision you did, here it all is right here. I had this amazing conversation with a CEO of an organization I'm going to run a workshop for. I had this fantastic breakthrough with a client of mine who it was absolutely transformational, the session we had and what they were able to do and accomplish. Another client of mine who I'd been working with for a long time, we had this amazingly heartfelt conversation, and you could just see this shift happen, and they literally leveled up in that moment. And this is somebody who had come so far in the time we've been together, but they'd kind of hit this sticking point for the last few weeks. And it was like that, we pushed through it, went on. It was absolutely amazing, the connection and the breakthroughs and the energy that was being exchanged with me and the people that I got to show up for, the people who I chose over those other things the night before. See, If you want to know how to set yourself up to live a great day, your great tomorrow is often begun the night before. It's the routines we choose towards the end of our days that are going to set us up to live great tomorrows. We can't ensure a great tomorrow if we're doing things right now towards the end of our days that aren't going to be in an alignment with the kind of day we want to live tomorrow. If we want to wake up refreshed and rejoiced, then staying up late binge watching Netflix or eating a bunch of pizzas isn't going to probably do that. If we want to wake up energized and excited, setting our alarm too early and then saying when you go to sleep, gosh, this is going to be too early, I'm going to have to snooze a bunch, isn't going to probably work. And just the same as the other hand, not setting your alarm and not honoring your commitment to get up earlier isn't going to work. See, our great days, our great tomorrows, the foundation was often laid the night before. How we finish the day is going to say a lot about how we begin the next day. See, imagine the end of your day being like your momentum space, your momentum machine for the next day. And you have the option to covering the space from here to the space to here. Now, if you don't honor your commitments to yourself, and if you do the things that you know you shouldn't do, kind of like what I thought about, the amount of momentum I have is about this much. So there's barely anything to do. From here, I can't really push that much. I don't have as much momentum. I don't have as much energy. But if you honor the commitments, you do the things that you know you should and need to do to set yourself up to live a great tomorrow, look at how much momentum I have. I can swing all the way from here, and the force of it alone is going to propel me forward into a great tomorrow. Just the act of making the choice of choosing a better tomorrow rather than succumbing to the short-term pleasure, the short-term temptation, the short-term suggestion of those voices, that in of itself is going to be enough to propel you into an even greater tomorrow. This isn't just from my experience. I've seen this experience happen from the thousands of people I've had the privilege to work with from all over the world. Each time some of the homeworks I have some of my clients do with me is I have them send me before they go to bed. I have them send me kind of a recap of their day and just some of the things they're going to work on for the next day, goals they have for the next day, intentions for the next day, how they want to experience the day, just so I have that level of accountability. And then we can check with them and say, okay, where did this go off? Like, how did you do with this? If they did well, awesome. How can we keep building on that? And if it didn't, what adjustments do we need to make in your behavior and your psychology and how you show up to ensure that you have more great days? Great days don't just happen. Every once in a while, we win the lotto of great days. But great days as an overall, they don't just happen, they're created. And they begin to create the night before. If you want to start now and carry this into 2019 with living and creating more great days for yourself, you got to start with the night before. You got to start with the night before by establishing a standard for yourself about finishing your day at a high so that you can begin your day on that high. If you find yourself towards the end of the day hitting a lull, feeling kind of blah and meh, and then trying to find something to stimulate or excite you or might help you check out from here and here, ask yourself, what do you really want in here and here? What's truly missing? And what can you do in that moment to not just put a Band-Aid on it, but to truly feel it so that you're fulfilled? If you find yourself sitting at home alone and you feel lonely, how can you connect with other people? What would you like to connect with them over? There's lots of ways we could connect with people. We go down a bar, we could go to a movie theater, we could do all those types of things. But how do we really want to connect in those moments that we're feeling lonely? How do we really, truly want to connect with them? Do we want to form a bond with them, talking about goals and aspirations? Okay, if that's the case, cool. Where can I go to do that? Is there a video I could go on? Is there a platform I could go on? Maybe some of you are logging in here and watching me at the end of your day, and hopefully this is a positive way to finish your day, right? And you have a community where you can have this kind of engagement and you can have these conversations with it. How you finish your day is going to say a lot about how you begin your day. The momentum you create at the end of your day is going to be the momentum you carry or do not carry into tomorrow. If you find yourself in a space where you're not having enough great days, Look at how you're finishing your current days. If you were closing your days out, blah, meh, and meh, that's not going to be enough. One of the great things that you could do is if you find yourself with some downtime at the end of the day, turn on some inspirational videos, turn on some inspirational movies, go on YouTube. I have put out content almost every single day since 2011. I promise you, in some of my early stuff, especially some of my videos, they're pretty bad. They're kind of funny to watch, but the intent's there. You could dedicate a year of your life and you probably would not get through half the stuff I've put out there, because I wanted to always have resources that are available to reach people. So go on there and do that. One of the things I'll do sometimes at the end of the day, if just to kind of help my mind wind down, and when I'm done, I'm done doing the inspiring and connecting and purpose-driven stuff, and I just want to turn off and kind of be blah, is I'll watch a movie and fast forward. And the reason I do this is because I really don't care about the movie. I don't really want to watch it. There's just certain things I want to watch. I want to watch an action scene. I want to watch the scary monster pop out, whatever it is. And then watching it and fast forward makes me laugh. It really becomes a comedy for me, because if you've ever watched a movie and you see them go, blah, 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 and then what I'll do is I'll kind of play a mini movie in my mind, because it's not really a movie I want to watch, but I'll create the movie I want to watch. So I'll fill in the dialogue and I'll make up all these funny things. And it just puts me in a good mood. It really invigorates me before I go to bed. And then when I fall asleep, I just say, okay, it's time for bed. And I go to sleep like that. I fall asleep when I'm really, really on it. I make it my best effort, and I'm not perfect on this by any means, but I fall asleep reciting things I'm grateful for, things that happen today, whether it's just, I'm so grateful for the bed I'm in. I'm so grateful for the roof over my head. And so I literally fall asleep reciting gratitude. And then what I do is, as soon as I wake up, before I even get out of bed to go pee in the morning, I'll wake up, and as soon as I have a conscious thought that I'm awake, I start again right up with gratitude. Oh, I'm so grateful to be given this new day. I'm so grateful to be able to breathe in fresh air. Simple little things like that. But starting and ending my days with gratitude are other ways that I use to create a great day. So that's what I have for you all today is how to set yourself up to live a great day. Great days aren't just the lotteries. Every now and then we can win the lottery. But great days, your great tomorrows, are really created in how you end your day. And how you end your day has nothing to do with anyone or anything else, nor does it have anything to do with anything that happened before. I could have had a horrible, shitty day up until this point, but I still have choice from this point on, and I could say, okay, the first part of this day hasn't been that great, but I want to make this last hour or two awesome. What do I need to do right now to make it awesome? Who can I talk to? What can I watch? What could I read? Could I exercise? Could I do a bunch of push-ups? Something like that. Something that helps me finish. Because what happened is what happened. It doesn't matter. Right now, you all have the potential to make the end of your day absolutely amazing. So remember, great days are created. Great tomorrows are created with right now. How you finish your day is going to say a lot about what kind of day you live tomorrow. That's what I have for you all tonight. So two requests. Number one, I see there's lots of comments, so I'm going to circle back through, and hopefully there's some good questions in here, and I'll answer the questions. And if you have questions about this or comments, go ahead and start typing them in. Number two, for accountability's sake, type in the comments and say, this is how I'm going to finish my day today. Whether it's doing some exercise, whether it's reciting gratitude, whether it's watching an inspiring video or watching the sunset or going for a run, whatever it is, just put in the comments how you're going to finish your day. And then that way we can all hold each other accountable with that. Thank you so much, all of you who have been commenting and liking and whatnot. Your interaction helps this get out to more people. Those of you who have shared this, a huge thanks for that. And I'm just going to circle through and see if there's any questions. Kat, something I always raised my kids with was always do your best. Only person that knows if you've done so is the face looking back into the mirror. You can't lie to yourself forever. I love that. It's all about balance. Hey, don't diss the pizza. I've played with that balance thing, Christine, and I'm just going to throw an image out there for you to play with. And this is one I used to always be such an advocate of. It's all about balance. It's all about balance. And then I started to think about what is balance, what image pops into my mind of balance. And when I think of balance, for me, and this may not be for all of you, but for me, when I think of balance, I think of walking on the tightrope and being like this and trying to keep my balance. I think about, exercising and trying to stand on one foot and trying to maintain my balance. And so I realized that when I was using this word of keeping my balance, it's all about balance. The image that I had pop up that represented balance to me was instability. It was always trying to find a place where I could feel stable, where I could feel, like I wasn't going to fall over. And I thought to myself, is that really the image I want to work with? And so what I use now for myself is really, rather it's about balance. I say it's more about foundations, because a foundation can be strong and firm. And so I have foundations with friendships, I have foundations with work, I have foundations with exercise. Or I might use pillars too. I have pillars with friendships, I have pillars with work. Something like that. That to me, the image pops up. It's firm, it's strong, it's in place, it's unwavering, it's unmovable. It's nothing that I'm going to ever have to worry about it falling over. It's set in stone. So just the food for thought out there. I rocked a meeting at work today because of this. It really made me day. Oh, it's awesome. High five. Very cool. I'm genuinely watching Die Hard 2 right now. That's awesome. I watch your older stuff every morning. Oh, very cool. I hope that's helpful. Gratitude. So that's a great statement, and how difficult it can be. It's extremely difficult to attempt gratitude, let alone a fine. And I fully recognize that it is. It's extremely difficult, and it being extremely difficult is not impossible. When we're dealing with loss, especially when it's really fresh, something that, losing someone days ago, weeks ago, hours ago, within the last several months, because we're so consumed by really present emotions like grief, guilt, sadness, despair, depression, it can be hard and feel impossible to find other emotions like gratitude. And when so doing, it's going to be hard to set yourself up to live a great day, right? If we're so consumed by these other emotions. What's helpful with that is, rather than having to try to think of it on your own, write down on a piece of paper and say just something simple like, remember to be grateful. What's one thing you can be grateful for? Or for me, what I would do with it, especially in the early days after a loss of a loved one, is I might write down 5 things that I know I can be grateful for every day. I can be grateful that I can see. I can be grateful that I am able to breathe in fresh air. I can be grateful that my heart and my lungs are working and that my body's functioning. I can be grateful that that I have the ability to communicate with all of you. I can be grateful for the roof over my head. And those are all things that, if they were to have changed in that moment, it would make the challenges and the pain that I was already going through all the more magnified, because now I wouldn't be able to fully immerse myself in mourning the loss, but I'd have these other things going on that I have to be trying to learn and adjust to life without them. And so then I could just read them off, because you're absolutely right. Gratitude can be really difficult to find, and it can be hard to look for, which is why we need to prompt ourselves for it and just acknowledging. And gratitude is not about, especially when we're dealing with loss, gratitude is not about dismissing and sweeping under the rug the raw emotions we're feeling. What gratitude is really about in those early stages, especially, is it's about recognizing that there is more to life than just the emotion that we're feeling. That yes, we're feeling these horribly painful emotions like grief, sadness, despair, depression, guilt, etc. But in that, we also have things that we can feel other things for. We also have other stuff that we can be grateful for. That the loss that we're feeling is a painful part of our life, but it's not all of our life. Does that make sense? And just in doing that simple act, that simple practice, it can often shine the light into the darkness and help us illuminate a path of healing that we might not otherwise ever find. Hope that's helpful. That's awesome. Reacting gratitude. Remind myself that I was fortunate enough to have. Awesome. You're very welcome. All right. I don't see any other questions. So reminder, comment on here how you're going to finish your day, and just so added accountability. And if you see someone sharing on here that they are going to finish their day in a certain way, they're trying to get accountability, be sure to like their comments so you can support them or give them a thumbs up or something like that. If you're watching the replay, post your questions on here or shoot me an email. If you want to grab one of those 2 spots I have available and you're serious about doing a coaching program going into 2019, I just put that link up one more time. But this is only if you are really, really serious about leveling up in 2019 and utilizing coaching. So I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine. And I don't want to take that time away from someone else who is serious. They're just not as quick to click. And reminder, if you're interested in getting on the email reminder list for the lives, let me know in here. You can just put email reminder list, and then I will get that link and send it to you, and then I'll have it to post the next few of these too, so we can start getting that going. And then we can launch into 2019 in a more organized, structured way so that you all can get as much benefit and value out of this as possible. I think that's it. If you have any other questions about this, feel free to message me, email me, post them in the comments so other people can learn from it too. That's awesome, because if you have a question, I bet you other people do too. And I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I'm grateful for your time, your energy, your presence, for your contribution to the discussion. I noticed that Kat, Christine, Linda, you 3 of you were really instrumental in this. And I hope those of you who are watching the replay read through some of their comments they did, because notice that their contributions spurred more of a discussion. So I encourage you all to be inspired by them and contribute and ask questions and comment as well too in the future. That's what I have for the night. Wherever you are, whether it's morning, noon, or night, sending lots of love to you all. And remember, carpe diem. Seize the day, seize the moment, make the most of it. This is the only one of the moments you have. And so I encourage you to take what we've talked about today and use this moment to start setting yourself up for a great tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Until then, bye-bye.